Firstborn, oh Lord. Hey, I've been so content, it's a gift, what's the deal? Pay my rent on the first, it's a curse, why you chill? I repent, I keep hoping that my focus catch a wave right by the ocean. I was chosen as a kid, you always sorta kinda notice how the world work. My heart is broken since I found out how the world hurt. This ain't a joke, see the smoke, another murder. Where I'm from, we never play, we got some friends. And what you'll never see me do is
pretend.
Yeah.
Another song with no claps.
Just the way I like it.
I just realized this song does not have my tag.
It doesn't?
It doesn't. And I think, knowing me, I'm like, I think it sounds better without it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. And I love the way it drops, because you think it's going to drop and it doesn't.
Oh, yeah. No, this beat was one of my favorite, like, again, just a vibe that was different. Like, for me, that's something I'm always trying to push, because with hip-hop, like, especially modern hip-hop, like, I would call it the pop rap, because that's kind of a genre now. Mm-hmm. That's my critique usually. A lot of the beats just kind of have the same vibe. And as an independent artist, like, you need something that's, like, competes but doesn't sound the same. And that's what I love about beats like this, where I'm like, yo, this is a whole nother vibe. Like, it just brings you in. Like, the beat is just, like you said, like that draw. You're like, whoa, like, this is different. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun, like executing this song and like writing to it and all of that. Like, it was definitely a dope, like, just another different moment. Never Settle to me was, it was kind of coming, so to me it was like, if you think about Fear, Peace, and then going into this song, it was me trying to figure out, kind of giving my own perspective on, like, okay, we're here in this place, in this broken world, seeing all this craziness, chaos, like, what do you do with all that? And I think my response and my answer to that was, well, you can never come to a place where you're going to settle for, it is what it is, this is the world we live in. Like, to me, that doesn't solve anything. So I was like, yo, like, I don't ever want to get to a place in my life and in this world where I'm just settling for just allowing things to be what they are.
Yeah, and I feel like the older generation of parents, I feel like that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
And I feel that's why racism still exists.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly...
one of the reasons.
Yeah, no, of course. And I think that's why, this album to me was a reflection of myself going through a growth process of dealing with anxieties and struggles and my own growth, but it was also reflecting on what was going on what's going on in our world, and an encouragement to people like, yo, like, don't ever settle for just allowing things to be the way they are. Your voice matters. You're able to make a difference, able to make a change, and that's what I want people to take away from, like, these songs is like, yo, get hype, get energy around the fact that your voice matters. And that's why, to me, like, the whole idea of this brand and everything is like, yo, the music to the clothes, like, everything, like, stand out, like, be confident in the fact that we can make a difference.
And be a role model.
Yeah. And
still make mistakes.
Yeah, and that's the point, though. Like, to me, it's like, I want people to, like, own that. Like, you can be an example to people, your friends and family, but man, like, you can have your own swag, you can do things the way you do things, and no one here is gonna place this burden of perfection, because it's just not something that we, in this point in our life, we're ever gonna reach.
I think what makes us perfect and that role model is to acknowledge that mistake.
Yeah.
And I think it's on that reaction of what we do when we mess up.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna mess up.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's how we're gonna handle it, in other words,
Yeah, and I think ultimately it's having a true care for people, like, again, ego, like, we have an ego, acknowledge it and move past the fact that every day you have to remind yourself that your life, should be about more than just yourself. And to me, that's where you live a more fulfilled life, like where it's not just about you. You can have impact and affect people's lives.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't have to be this great crazy thing, man. Like to me, like people like you have impacted my life because of our friendship, our relationship, like working together, like having these conversations, like, you know, that means a lot to me because I don't have that with everyone. It's unique, you know? So to me, that's what I want people to understand is that you have unique relationships that are having impact, and it doesn't have to be something you can post on social media or for other people to see, but you have to be able to acknowledge those moments and those relationships.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think for Never Settle, I mean, that's kind of...
Yeah, it's the title of the song. It's pretty forward, and I feel like, not to look over it though, but like, it's very serious. Yeah. Don't settle. Like in... Yeah. I feel like in any area of your life, like, don't settle. You're never going to be happy. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, the only line I want to clarify quickly is in the hook where I say, I just got the call, it's a lot, see the light when it's hot, we just get to the start, never stop. Like, it's, to me, when I say I just got the call, it's kind of like this light switch. Like, I just realized that I have a calling over my life, and I say it's a lot, because when you realize that you have an ability to make change in this world, that can be burdensome. It's like, yo, like, it's not easy to do that.
Yeah.
But we all have a call to be able to make a change, and it is a lot. And like I said, we're just getting to the start. Like, there's still more that we can do. We're not in a place where, you know, we can chill. That's the whole point of Never Settle. Like, don't get to this place of being comfortable. Make a difference.
Make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Stars. Track number 7, the outro. It's time to cry. Firstborn, oh Lord.
This is another
I know. I thought about that too. Yeah. Lately I've been staring at the stars, but I don't thank the universe at all. I thank God, holding weight over my shoulders like life is a competition, but nobody's really far ahead. They good at just pretending. Snap a picture on your phone, posting creates the image that it's all good. And yeah, it's all good. And yet you never feeling good enough. Tell my story for the world, it ain't a perfect one.
Yeah, this one doesn't have a clap or my tag again. The tag on this one I probably forgot.
Dude,
just too many things happening, but
like, I didn't even realize that. All these songs were produced by Marvs Production, Southern Los Angeles, South LA, off Crenshaw, off Slauson technically, not Crenshaw, but up the street.
Crenshaw and Slauson, basically.
Yeah, basically. So, yeah, this song, man, last song that we worked on for this project, it was...
FaceTime too, no?
Yes, it was FaceTime, technically. Yeah, it was. We worked through it for a little bit because we had like one version, switched it up. I remember because I was like, can we slow it down a little bit? I was like, that sounds dope, but I need it slower.
Yeah, it took me some adjusting to get to the slow one. I remember hearing it and I was like, sounds off. Like, it sounds off. And then eventually, I think it's because I needed to hear you. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then it ended up just being, like, perfect.
Yeah, this one, man, was a kind of similar to Ego, where I just felt like it was a pleasant surprise. Like, I knew that after kind of getting these 6 songs done, I was like, we need something different. And I still felt like I had more to say, literally. Like, I was like, I feel like I want to really drive home this feeling of, yo, my life is not perfect. Like, I know that I've been able to, you know, have conversations with people, and I feel like I've made some impact in people's lives, but I know that I am nowhere near perfect. I've never made all the right decisions, and that's what I wanted to portray in this song. Was like, yo, this is who I am. This is where I'm at. This is what I feel sometimes. And I've been happy to hear a lot of people say like they love this song for the honesty. They connect with it. Yeah. It's made people emotional. I've gotten that. You know, this song for a long time, me listening over, I would get emotional listening to it, just thinking about like the rawness of what I felt. the struggle of chasing your dreams when people don't necessarily believe in it. Like, you know, like it's real. You know, I love the first line of the verse of like, lately I've been staring at the stars. I don't thank the universe at all. I thank God. And I don't want to get too deep into that line, but literally it came from, I was listening to a Big Sean song, and you know, he's one of those rappers that tends to praise the universe a lot. And you know, for me it was just funny because I think, you know, in hip-hop especially, you get those people that kind of, you know, either will acknowledge God or kind of acknowledge just the universe and life and things happening. So to me that was kind of like my little low-key shot at like, yo, like, you know, for me, man, like the universe and things are created and great, that's awesome, and I love, and it's beautiful. But sometimes you have these moments where you're like, man, you have to have a connection with something real, and that's where my relationship with God has been like strong in that, where it's like I need to be pulled out of myself sometimes. So that's kind of just a little bit about that line, but I felt like this was the perfect way to kind of just end this out, this project. And you know, kind of lay it all out there of the fact that there was no, because one thing that I hate about like especially artists who like, you know, are faith-based and whatever, they usually want to give like this testimonial moment of like, oh, like, you know, this great, you know, at the mountaintop moment where life has changed and it's great. And I actually kind of love doing the opposite, where I kind of ended this project on, life ain't great. It's not perfect. It's not, you know, that I figured it out. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I would be curious if people felt that, like, there was never a moment where I felt like I said I figured it out.
Yeah.
You know, but that's something that I feel like I got advice early on from other artists, you know, that where they were telling me, like, sometimes, like, you know, you have to allow a song to be what it is. And you can't give people the answers to meaning to life in 2-3 minutes, you know? Sometimes you just want to let them into a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where I've been able to kind of see people actually connect the most.
Very well put. Very well put, man.
How did you feel? Yeah.
Nah, just the name of stars. I feel like I hear the stars.
Yeah.
And then it's, I don't know, I feel like you really took me on this little journey, and it ended in space where it's like, all right, now let me do my searching kind of thing. Like, I got your perspective and how you see. And what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I feel at the end of it. Like, what am I going to do now? And I feel like I have to do something. Like, I can't just be like, oh, that was cool, man. Like, I got your perspective. That was cool, you know? Nah, but I really feel like, damn, what do I do now? What do I do? Because, you left me wanting, like, to do stuff, to do more. Motivated me, inspired me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you just showing your vulnerability, too. Like, I feel like, which is kind of weird. I feel like now there's this whole new category of emotional rap. Yeah. Which is cool, but I feel like they all kind of talk about the same thing, kind of.
Yeah.
But, like, it's good, man, to hear this other little side of it, so.
Yeah. That was cool. I think that was, like, the creative side of not putting a hook in this song. Giving people the space to reflect on what was said. And I guess the only, like, actual conclusion, which was a perfect kind of way to conclude the project, was that I'm no longer at a place where I'm trying to compete for people's praises. I'm just trying to live out like the life that I feel like I was called to live, you know? So, and kind of like giving that back to God. So to me, that was if any conclusion was that, like, that I'm not in the space of, when it comes to creating music or in just my life, trying to just work for the praises and like of people, because, you know, like we talked about already, it's some days you get it, some days you don't. And that's a very difficult way to live.
That's the way we all live.
Yeah, but it's not. There's no peace in that, and so that's why, man, I feel like this was that was a great way to kind of end this project of just, You know what? And I love that it was. I think a lot of people get that from that song. It's so weird with music how a song with that vibe actually motivates people and pushes them to think, and that's what I love about being able to kind of put that stuff out there.
Make people think, not set a thought in their head like this is the answer, like you were saying. Yeah, it's more of sparking up something in somebody, and I feel like you did it, at least to me, and from what some people are saying. But
yeah,
I feel like that was the idea,
Yeah.
And just to let us inside your little noggin. But
well, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too, Brody.
Couldn't have done it without you. Go check out the Role Modelz EP if you haven't, and we appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Yo, Marvs, let's get it.
22 reasons, look at my life, see how I'm breathing. Hearing my thoughts, chilling my house, see how it begins. I'm going so hard till I get weak, turn up on weekends.